Hey guys. All right, I'm assuming that I'm recording right now. Sometimes QuickTime is kind of a pain about that. Anyways, how are you? This is Mrs. Smith. Ta-da! Um, I'm recording this on, let's see, Sunday, November 29th. And I hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving. I know that Thanksgiving looked really different for a lot of people this year. I was supposed to go home and visit my mama and dad and my sisters. That didn't end up working out. My mommy is a teacher, and her school had a nice little COVID outbreak, so yeah, we didn't do that this year. Me and Mr. Smith stayed home. So instead, what we did is we cooked some of Thanksgiving dinner. Then we went to his mom and dad's house, and then we all traded food. And then we came back, and then we had dinner. We had Thanksgiving dinner in our own house. So it was okay. It was okay. I could have been worse. But yeah, and then we ended up Zooming with everybody. So I saw my mom. I saw his uncles that I haven't seen in forever. I saw his nan. I saw my nana. So it was okay. It was all good. So I hope y'all had a nice Thanksgiving, and yeah, great. Cool. So let's talk about instrument families. This is installment number 3 out of 4 for the instrument families that you would find in an orchestra. So we are moving on to the brass family, which, not gonna lie, is kind of, I think it's my favorite family of instruments, period, even though I was a clarinet player. So, take a look at these brass instruments. We have the trumpet, we have the trombone, we have the tuba, and we have the French horn. I know what some of you guys are thinking. Mrs. Smith, what about the baritone? We'll get there. We'll get there. So what do these 4 instruments have in common? This one might be the easiest one to remember. They're made of brass. Just like the string instruments are easy to figure out because they have strings, brass instruments are easy to figure out because they're made of brass. So let's talk a little bit about each one, shall we? Okay, so we've got the trumpet, and it is the highest brass instrument in the orchestra. So you'll notice there are 3 valves that you use to make the sound, 1, 2, 3. And believe it or not, those 3 valves will play every single note on the trumpet. So the person's who's the player's lips and the air make every single note. So you could press down only the first valve and it'll make like a ton of different notes, but the trumpet player has to know how to change their air and how tight their lips are, and that will help change the sound, which makes brass instruments pretty hard to play, but fun. And look, it has a cute little brother called the piccolo trumpet. Oh, look at how cute he is. Ah! And he plays even higher than the regular trumpet. Isn't he adorable? Guys, so cute. And you'll remember that the piccolo in the woodwind section is even higher than a flute. Well, piccolo trumpet's even higher than regular trumpet. And last piece, there's a very famous piece called taps, which is played on a trumpet at dusk, during flag ceremonies, and at military funerals. And if you happen to play trumpet and are watching this video right now, you may have played it before for the Memorial Day celebration. And this is what it sounds like if you have never heard it before. Yep. So that's, how do we say, really, that's taken pretty seriously when it's played. You'll notice that when people in the Army hear that, when veterans hear that, they will stand, they'll salute the flag, they'll take their caps off. They just show a lot of respect. So, yes. And on a musical note, get it? Musical note. If you go back and rewatch that, you'll notice that the gentleman's fingers actually do not move. So that you can hear how he changes the pitch with just his lips and his airflow because his fingers aren't doing anything. Fun fact. All right, man. I don't know how to proceed from that. That was pretty serious. Whew. But anyways, so this let's go on to the next instrument, the French horn. It is the second highest brass instrument in the orchestra, and arguably the hardest brass instrument to play. If you uncoiled a French horn from end to end, it would measure between 12 and 13 feet. In other words, your ear has to travel 12 feet just to get out of the instrument. It's one of the reasons why it's so hard to play. Ah! This is also my favorite brass instrument. It's so beautiful. If I could do it all again, I would pick cello or French horn. And fun fact, you can play with your hand inside the bell, so the bell's right here, because it, looks like a bell, or outside the bell, outside the bell or in, and if you put your hand inside the bell, that is called stopped horn, because you're stopping some of the sound. So, I'm going to show you guys. So this is a gentleman who is playing the piece Viva la Vida by Coldplay. If you don't know what that song is, you can look it up for reference. But I chose this for you guys to listen to because the gentleman is playing different parts of the song into his microphone onto his computer, and he's using that as a loop. So a lot of artists do this, and it's just a way to make your sound, make more sounds and make it sound more interesting. So I won't do the whole thing, but I'll do part of it for you for sure. So there's one loop. There's the second loop. There's the third loop with his fingers. There's the fourth loop. And there's the melody. And as much as I love the sound of that, we are going to continue on. But isn't that so cool, you guys? You know who else does that is Ed Sheeran. I've seen him in concert 2 or 3 times, and it's only him and his guitar and his loop machine on stage, and that's it. He's incredible. Tangent. Cool. All right. LOL, that is definitely not the French horn. Next up is the trombone, which is the second lowest brass instrument in the orchestra. It's the only brass instrument that does not have valves. It has a slide. So when I asked you guys what makes these brass instruments, the answer is not valves. It is that they're made of brass, because this is a little slide. It is found in some orchestra music. It's a relatively recent instrument invention, so it's not in all orchestra music. It's also found in jazz bands, which is very, very fun. And fun fact, you can put a bunch of different mutes in the bell to change the sound. And I'm going to show you just some of them with this video. It's also a good demonstration of a gentleman playing. And like, guys, it's ridiculous. It's so much fun. So, trombone mutes. Here's a whole bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. A lot of them. Here we are. This is called a pixie mute. The solo tone mute. If you guys have ever seen any Charlie Brown specials, that's the wah 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 wah. Oh yeah, sorry, this also helps the Charlie Brown teacher sound. And just because we can, I gotta find my favorite. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yep, and just because this is my favorite, guys. The plunger. And that's a real thing, you guys. So, yes, that's all about the trombone. And last but certainly not least, we have the tuba, which is this big guy right here, and also kind of the baritone / euphonium. These are not to scale. The baritone / euphonium are smaller than the tuba, but this is not to scale. So, the tuba is the lowest brass instrument in the orchestra. The euphonium / baritone plays a bit higher. It doesn't appear in every orchestra piece, but it is pretty epic when it does. Look up anything by I don't know, like Wagner. He has some good tuba parts. Also appears in brass quintets. So a brass quintet is made up of 5 parts, hence quint, like quintuplets, or yeah, that's the only one I can think of. 5 babies. So if you put together 2 trumpets, 1 French horn, and 1 trombone, and 1 tuba, you get a brass quintet. And guys, tuba Christmas is a real thing. I gotta show you. So every year, probably not this year, but every year, the most famous one is in Washington D.C. at the Kennedy Center. Sorry, they happen all over the place. Guys, look. So literally anybody in the area who plays, there's some euphoniums, there's some tubas, and then these guys in the back are sousaphones, which don't appear in a lot of marching band music, does not really appear in orchestra music. Look at how they're decorated. This is a thing. It happens. This is from 2 years ago. I would have showed you guys this last year, but the sound wasn't good. So here's something from Tuba Christmas. Oops. and I watched a little bit of this before I showed it to you guys. They take players of literally any age, like literally, if they're beginners, if they're experts, anybody in between. There's a girl in here who is 9, who's the youngest, and there's a man playing who's 94. Oh, and they say that music is just something you learn in school. Tis not. Tis something you can learn in your whole life. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And yes, there's 50 minutes of tubas. It's awesome. All right, so you guys are going to have a quiz to do for this section. Next week, we're going to cover percussion. And then the week after, you are going to do an instrument project. And that's going to bring us right up to Christmas break. So, hope y'all are having a good day. And thanks for watching. And, geez, I feel like I have a YouTube channel. Oh, wait, I do. Ha. Like, oh, thanks for watching. No, just kidding. Have a good day, guys. Let me know if you have questions. Email is best, esmith1@midlakes.org, especially since almost all my classes are in person. It's occasionally hard for me to check Seesaw more than a couple times a week. Cool. Peace out.